Hello, welcome to another episode of Prick with a Fork, the world's only podcast talking all about sausages. If you are listening via Apple Podcasts or Spotify, it's lovely being in your ears, if you pardon the expression. And if you're watching on YouTube, then hello, you're joining a growing number of subscribers to this channel. Thank you and hello. If you've recently subscribed, if you know someone else who loves this kind of stuff, then tell them all about our YouTube channel and please subscribe. It doesn't cost you a penny and it just means you get regular updates regarding whenever I do something about sausages, because we talk about making sausages, eating sausages, anything sausage related. Good to have you on board. And finally, whilst we're in the area of plugging things, whatever your platform of choice to watch or listen to Prick with a Fork, please rate, review, share and subscribe, because that really helps people become aware of this remarkable podcast and YouTube channel, which is all about bangers. Now, normally it's all about the Great British Banger, though we do deviate and go around the houses a little bit and sample stuff from overseas as well. On this particular episode, something wherever you are in the UK you can try, and possibly if you're one of our USA subscribers, then hello, you should be able to get this in the USA. I've not checked, and I'll tell you why I think you can get it pretty much anywhere, because I've been to the drive-through, right? Not any old drive-through, the Maccies drive-through, McDonald's, which of course, as you know, is a global brand, because recently they have got a new addition to their menu, which is the sausage sandwich. So it would be amiss of me not to sample it and give you my view on our sausage podcast, because there's a clue in the title. It's a sausage sandwich, and this is a podcast all about sausages, you see. £2, £1.99 is what it will cost you for a sausage sandwich from Maccies. It's part of their breakfast menu, so you can only get it up until 11 o'clock in the morning. Remember that film with Michael Douglas? Falling Down, I think it was called. I don't suggest if you go to your Maccies at 1 minute past 11 and try and get a sausage sandwich that you start shooting people, because that would be morally wrong. Good film, if you've not seen it. Falling Down with Michael Douglas. He gets very upset when he goes to some fast food joint and the breakfast menu cannot be served after 1 minute past 11 o'clock or something. And you can see the products from the breakfast menu just behind the counter, and he gets a little bit upset. Anyway, I digress. So I've been to Mackie D's. Everyone knows about Mackie D's, the Golden Arches, McDonald's. And we're going to try their sausage sandwich, £1.99. And we've got a couple of them here. It comes with cheese. Now, that's my first issue, but there's a far, far bigger issue regarding the sausage sandwich from McDonald's, okay? Now, the first issue, the biggest issue as far as I'm concerned, and you will know if you're a regular consumer of this Prick with a Fork podcast, I have quite a few issues about most things in life. First of all, okay, and I'm a fan of McDonald's. Let me just make this point. I think McDonald's is great. It's made millions and millions of people happy over the decades. It's a great global brand. It offers jobs to people locally. I'm not here to give McDonald's a hard time. However, there is one big issue. Now, that is their sausage sandwich, okay? First off, that is not a sandwich. McDonald's, if you're listening, it's not a sandwich. Let me explain. The sandwich was created by a guy called John Montague. John Montague was the 4th Earl of Sandwich, and he was playing a card game. We don't know what it is. We don't know if it was poker. We don't know if it was bridge. We don't know if it was Snap or Happy Families. We've no idea what John Montague was playing, but he was at the card table, and he was hungry. And in the room, there was like a table, a different table, like a buffet, where there was bread and cold meats and stuff. And he instructed his valet, because he didn't want to leave the card table and interrupt his game, he instructed his valet, this is John Montague, the 4th Earl of Sandwich, to bring him 2 bits of bread, and some cold meat. And he put the cold meat between the 2 bits of bread, and the sandwich was created, all right? The sandwich. This is not a sandwich. As you can see, that is effectively a roll, okay? As we in the UK would call it, a roll. Or if you're in the north of England, a barm. Some might even call it a cob. Various words depending on where you are in the UK. But effectively, that is a roll, okay? That is not a sandwich. So first off, this is not a sandwich. You know, you might be saying, well, you're being a little bit pedantic there, Duncan, because it is a bread product. It is, but technically, it is not a sandwich. So first on McDonald's, your sausage sandwich, is incorrectly named. You need to call it something else. Except maybe it's a little bit too late for that. But that is not a sandwich. It's a roll. It's a roll. Now, I appreciate you can't call it the McDonald's sausage roll because here in England, in the United Kingdom, a sausage roll is something different. It's pork meat, normally minced, bit of spices in there, few herbs, and it's encased in pastry. I'm just making this point for any overseas viewers or listeners. So I accept you couldn't call it a sausage roll because that would confuse people. You could call it a sausage bap, couldn't you? Because we love baps. Who doesn't love baps? So I don't think that really is a sausage sandwich. For me, that's a sausage bap. That is, first off, my big issue. Maccies, it should be the sausage bap, not a sausage sandwich, because that's not a sandwich. Right, next issue. It's quite simple, the construction of this, right? So what you've got your lid here of your roll, as we would call it, or your bap, as we're going to rename it. Then you've got your sausage patty there. And underneath, you can see this ghastly, look at this yellow thing here. Now, this is, hang on. So you can see it just weeping out the side. That's cheese. I really don't know why they decided to have a sausage patty with cheese. I just don't know. Look, sausages. The Great British Banger, a nice herby sausage with a bruising, rustic, really strong cheddar cheese on your plate with some bread and some tomatoes and some pickles is a beautiful thing. There's no question about it. But a slice of what looks like radioactive cheese that wouldn't be out of place in Chernobyl, I don't think it adds anything. I can only presume when they did the market research, a load of people who don't really like cheese, so therefore they consider this to be all right, because that really isn't cheese, is it? So that's my second issue. First issue, just to remind you, it's not a sandwich. It is a sausage bap. Second issue, don't know why you put cheese in it. Now, when you order this from your drive-through, they ask you if you want brown sauce or ketchup. I've gone for ketchup. I don't mind brown sauce. The older I get, I quite like brown sauce, but I tend to have my brown sauce as part of my full English breakfast because that works for me. I wouldn't have brown sauce in this. I don't think it's right. So I've gone for the red sauce. I've gone for the tomato ketchup. So what we have is the BAP, which is a typical McDonald's BAP. You've got your sausage patty, and then you've got your slice of very processed cheese, and that is it. That makes up the McDonald's sausage sandwich, or indeed the sausage BAP. Now, the this bread product thing, this thing here, I looked at the ingredients, right, and it's just full of chemicals. Not a great surprise. I'm not here to be rude about McDonald's, but it's massively full of God knows how many chemicals. It's like a laboratory. All right, so yeah, the list of stuff in here is not particularly surprising, but it's not, it's chemicals and stuff like that. The sausage patty is really interesting. It's 97% pork, which I think is quite good, right? 97% pork. We talk about the pork content of sausage products, and some very cheap brands. The legal minimum requirement in the UK is 42%. As I always say this, that means the other 58%, God knows what you're eating. But we tend to sample sausages on this podcast, products that tend to have 85 to 95%, 97% pork content, and they're really good. This is 97%. Right, this patty here, that 97% pork, and there's a herb extract in there and a herb kind of mix. Again, not fresh herbs because it's processed fast food. So that's our BAP slightly deconstructed, and what we need to do is try it. It's not the most. I drove home quite carefully, and it's not the most. What's the word? Aesthetically pleasing, is it? I mean, it looks like someone sat on that. Well, the bread, or rather, the BAP lid, because it's not a sandwich, is utterly tasteless, right? Wasn't for the ketchup, you wouldn't actually know you were eating something, if that makes sense. Not nice. Now then, bear with me a second. I'm just going to deconstruct this for you. As you can see, that sausage patty is almost welded by the cheese. Look at that. Oh, God, look at that. Ooh. Let's just take that out and try something out. So, sausage patty is delicious. It's very herby. It's got a lovely aftertaste as well. I just can't get my head around this cheese. I mean, look at that. Can you see that? Stuck to it. Excuse me for a second. I've got ketchup-y hands. Right. The patty, as we'd call it, is all right. The cheese is just pointless, and the kind of bap bottom. Oh, okay, proves my point. That bit doesn't have ketchup on it, right? There's no taste. There's no taste to this whatsoever. Almost like putting a load of cotton wool in your mouth and chomping. There's zero taste. So, I'm in a quandary here. I like this because I think the sausage part of it is actually quite delish. I don't like the bap because unless it's smeared in ketchup, a taste of nothing. I'm getting the cheese. I know it's processed cheese, right? I know. It's a slice of processed cheese. But it tastes of nothing. And you might go, well, if it tastes of nothing, what's the issue? Well, the issue is it's the texture. All right? You can see, look at that. Right? It's just stuck on there. It's like a bad bit of plastic packaging that you can't get off something. So, my quandary, hang on, is this. Do I rate it? And, oh, it's such a mess, excuse me. Got another one here, just, why wouldn't you? Just to finish off this episode. I like the pork part of this. The sausage patty part is delicious. 97% pork, good. It's well seasoned. It's got a nice herby mixed taste to it. It's all right. The so-called sandwich, which is not a sandwich, the bat part, if you like, tasteless. The cheese, tasteless. But the sausage bit deliciously makes up for the rest of it. So, for £1.99, excuse me, quite a big bite. If you were really hungry, two things then. First off, if you've been working a night shift, right? I've done loads of night shifts over the years, working in radio and stuff. Let's say you knock off at 6 or 7 in the morning. And you know your journey back home to that lovely bed that you're desperate to crash into takes you past the McDonald's drive-in. And there might have been a long shift, or it might just be hacked off, whatever. And you need a little pep, something just to pep you up. You may well think £1.99 for this sausage. They call it a sandwich. It's not. Bap is well worth the money. And actually, I would say it is, right? Despite everything I said, when we deconstructed it, The bread tasteless, the cheese tasteless, but the meat content is jolly good. $1.99. Worth it. Absolutely worth it. If you're not a night shift worker, and maybe you've been out on the town the night before, had a few beers, had some mates round, opened some bottles of wine, then maybe some more, and you're a bit hungover, a bit fragile, and as you always know, I've said this before, best hangover cures: salt, fat, and sugar. They always work. This contains all of that, okay? Because the so-called bread bit here is very sweet. It's not a brioche, but it's got elements of brioche to it. So, you know, if you are hungover or you're fragile and you're thinking, I just need some sugar, fat and salt, this would do the job. Well, I think and I don't normally have McDonald's. I've stopped going regularly to McDonald's, blimey, about 5-6 years ago. Not because I'm a food snob, I recognise it has a place. But when you hit middle-aged, we become middle-aged, and you hit middle age, you want to try and keep the weight off, and regularly going to the Golden Arches doesn't help. So this is a bit of a treat for me. But you know what? This is not too bad. So, I say 7 or 8 out of 10. Probably, if you're a big person, and I don't mean, fat or obese, I just mean you're a big person, you need your food, you want 2 of these. McDonald's, if you end up watching this, and you never know, with the power of YouTube, dump the cheese, for goodness sake, dump the bloody cheese. Pointless. I just think the patty with tomato ketchup or brown sauce is all you need. Oh yeah. And next time you're having a marketing meeting or a concept meeting, whatever you call it, give me a call, because I would have told you you can't call this a sandwich. John Montague, the 4th Earl of Sandwich, created a sandwich with some meat, a couple of bits of bread, because he didn't want to give up his card game. That is a bap, it's a balm, it's a roll, it's not a sandwich. So next time, give me a call, I can put you on the right track. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, tell a friend. That sausage bit is really good. And carry on watching and supporting Prick with a Fork, the world's only regular podcast and YouTube channel all about sausages. See you next time.